kings, queens, and in-betweens. I'm Valerie, and welcome to my channel, The Bookish Valkyrie. So it is the second week of June. Happy Pride Month. I missed Pride in Salt Lake, which was this past weekend, but Pride in my hometown is actually this coming weekend. So I thought this might be a good time to do a vlog. Right now, I am in the midst of the Amazing Readathon. I am with the Pathfinders team, which is the non-competitive team, because last year I burnt myself out like so badly. I just need to be able to step away without there being any consequences for my team. And so there being a non-competitive team this year for the Amazing Readathon is perfect. I had every intention of skipping it and just dealing with the FOMO, but then Bree went ahead and made this non-compete team, and I'm loving it. So basically, this year we're going intergalactic, like interdimensional, visiting different worlds like Oz and Panem and whatever the college is in Fourth Wing. And right now we are in the fourth leg of the readathon, which puts us in the Shire. So the read for this leg was a cozy or comfort read, and I went with one that I think fits both. It was a reread of Goal Lines and First Times, which, if you have been watching my channel, you know, one of my absolute favorites. It's a hockey romance, and like out of all of the hockey romances I've read, this is the one for me. This is the story for me. I just love it, love it, love it. This is a men loving men romance, and it is featuring one guy who is in his last year of college and trying to figure out the future, and the other guy is wrapping up his master's degree and looking at going into his PhD. And both of them are at sort of a crossroads in regards to their sexual identities. One of them, the hockey player, had it pointed out to him that it isn't the most hetero thing to have made out with and rubbed up on your best friend throughout high school. He thought that it was just, you know, for practice, and didn't realize that that was the classic excuse that teenagers use when they're figuring out their sexuality. So the story opens with him frantically calling his best friend from high school and asking him if he's gay. And he is in fact gay and engaged to be married to a man, and yeah, anyhow. Now he is looking back on his sexual history and wondering if he's been missing out on something. So he starts kind of exploring things, going online and trying one of the apps to figure out what he's feeling and what he identifies as. And at the same time, our other MC is being broken up with by another girlfriend, and she's telling him all the things that he's heard from his previous girlfriends who have all broken up with him, that he's needy and he doesn't enjoy sex enough. And at this point he confesses to this current new ex-girlfriend that he has been doing research and he thinks that maybe he is demi. And she goes, well, you know, that makes sense, and maybe what you should do is consider going on an app. You can see where this is going, and seeing if making a connection that way helps you find a partner that better suited to you. And then as she's leaving, she tells him to do himself a favor and not limit the interested in to just women, because don't think she didn't notice that he got particularly horny after watching an episode of Witcher with her. So he also does some more soul searching and figuring things out and goes on to an app, and these two end up finding each other on this app. They don't know who each other are. The guy who thinks he may be demi is actually the twin brother of the hockey player's former team captain and friend. So they have a connection. They actually have met in real life before, but they don't know it. And there's a bunch of hijinks. There's a whole lot of figuring things out. The first, like, 40% of the book is them exchanging messages on this app and getting to know each other and getting to know themselves. And then one fateful night, they find themselves in a hotel room. There's only one bed, and they have figured out who each other are, and things go from there. So anyhow, definitely one of my ultimate favorites. I love the late in life bisexual awakening and the late in life demisexual awakening, and it's just like the perfect combination of elements for me, and I just really, really love it. I think this is like my 4th or 5th time rereading it. I don't really know. I'm pretty sure I read this last year for the Amazing Readathon. So if this is all just recap for you, sorry. Alright, so now moving on to what I'm actually currently reading. I have 2 books going right now. One is The Fake Boyfriend Fiasco by Talia Hibbert. It is the 3rd book in the Just For Him series, and this is one of her much earlier books that has been re-released, but it is originally one that she published as an indie author. I know that this one has been making the rounds, and I happened to have picked it up for a deal on Libro FM. So I'm reading this for the sightseeing prompt, book that involves travel, because she does travel to Spain to spend a week being this footballer's fake girlfriend to protect him from sex, because he just doesn't know how to say no. But really, he just wants the chance to get to know her and spend more time with her, and to have an opportunity to convince her that he's the one for her. Then the other book that I'm currently reading is All the Hidden Paths by Foz Meadows. This is the sequel to A Strange and Stubborn Endurance. We are following the same couple, and we have new intrigue and new challenges ahead, and I am absolutely eating it up. I'm only a couple of chapters in, but the intrigue has been set and the stakes are there. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more to unfold beyond what I already have found in the first couple chapters, but consider me absolutely caught up and raring to go for this. I love, love, love these characters and cannot wait to see them make their way deeper into their relationship. So that is everything that I am currently reading. I am actually filming, if you haven't noticed, not at home. I'm actually filming at Tony's house again. I'm in town to go to a trivia night with him and his husband, and I've done this trivia night once before. I had a great time with them. It was the vlog where I didn't film anything because I was having too good a time. So I had a good enough time that I am coming back for more. So that's what I'm doing. I may get a little bit of B-roll from that, but again, I might not, just because, I don't know, it feels a little strange to film in a bar. That's where we are right now. I hope your June has been going wonderfully, and I will see you again next clip. Hello, it is Thursday. I failed to get any B-roll yesterday or earlier today, but as you can see, I am back home. My plants have made their way back to the window, so I thought it would be a good time to try this spot out again since it's been a while. So I finished listening to The Fake Boyfriend Fiasco, and it was just as delightful as any Talia Hibbert book is. I definitely would say don't read this book without at least reading the first book in the series. This is the 3rd. They all can technically be read standalone, but the main character's whole mental state from the beginning is vastly impacted by the events in the first book. You'll get the gist of it from reading the 3rd book on its own, but you won't necessarily get the full impact of why she is so rocked by the events from the first book. So I'm going to continue reading All the Hidden Paths. I am in the very last few pages of part 1, and I will be starting part 2 soon. So both of our heroes are currently dealing with their own traumas that happened in the first book, and they're working their way through figuring out how to be husbands for each other. This picks up just months after the first book, so they've had like a slight reprieve, a little bit of a honeymoon period between everything that happened at the end of the first book and everything that is going on now. They are currently doing a bit of a road trip. The first book had a lot of road tripping involved as well, and I am a sucker for a road trip, especially in a fantasy series. So we are on the road, we are figuring things out. Neither of them have, been married before. Neither of them really have the knack for being husbands quite yet. So it's fun to watch them kind of work through these things together, as prickly as each of them are at the moment, because of where they are, like mentally and emotionally, from outside factors. I think they're doing great, and I mean it's definitely like got plenty of tension because they have things they're having to work through. They're doing a really good job working through them. I'm really enjoying this. I am looking to pick up another book, but I'm not sure what that will be. The newest leg of the Amazing Readathon has dropped. Technically, because I'm on the Pathfinders team, I don't have to do that leg right now. I don't have to do the leg at all, really. It's kind of a do what you want when you want situation on this non-compete team. So we'll see what I end up doing. The prompt for this current leg is a wintry cover or a cover that is chilling, like so creepy that it's chilling. I did consider using Clown in a Cornfield 2 for that because clowns give me the willies, but I ended up using that on a previous leg. So now I have to find another book. I don't know. I may just continue reading this book and not pick up another book, but I do like to try to keep at least an ebook and an audiobook going. And as I am doing a hybrid read with this book, I probably won't pick up a physical book besides this one until I'm through with this. So I don't know. We'll see. I have some dishes to do and some gardening to do before the day is over, so I'm going to put my earbuds in and get started on that. See you next clip.
In this crazy life we live, we all need someone to hold, a friend to light the way when the world starts to unfold. Through all the ups and downs, the highs and lows we share, we'll stick together, ride or die. Let's show we really care. Through thick and thin, you've been there by my side, a shoulder to lean on when the tears couldn't hide. You're the one who lifts me up when I'm feeling down. With you, my friend, there's no need to wear a frown. Friendship, oh friendship, upon the storms and sunny days, together we'll walk this road, hand in hand, yeah. Friendship, oh
what is today? It is Friday. My God, how is it already Friday? Anyhow, this day has not got off to a great start, but I am bound and determined to make it up. So the last time I talked to you, I was going out to the garden and I was gonna listen to this while I did some gardening. I had 3 objectives in my garden last night. Long story short, I managed to do one of the 3 things that I planned on doing in my garden last night. I didn't do the dishes at all, so I get to add that to today's roster. And then to top things off, when I went to bed, I just did not get sleepy. Like, I was laying there reading, and usually if I'm laying down in bed reading a book, whether it is an audiobook, a physical book, an ebook, I usually wind up falling asleep. Like, let's be honest, it's almost always an ebook. But like, I'll be reading and the next thing I know, I'm going like this, and then I put my phone away and I turn off my light and I go to sleep. This did not happen at all. So 2 things. 1, I just flat out did not get tired. I even like stopped my book for like an hour and laid there and stared at the dark ceiling and tried to get to where I could fall asleep. And I just could not do it. I was caught up in the story, and then I realized I was hearing the birds start to wake up and chirp, and the like pre-dawn gray was starting to come in through the curtains. And I was like, how did that happen? How are we here? I was sitting there reading thinking that it was maybe like 3 in the morning, but no, it was like 5. I turned off my bedside lamp and tried to sleep, and I was just wide awake. There was no going to sleep. So I went, well, if I'm going to be awake, I may as well finish my book. And so I finished my book at about, I want to say about 8 o'clock this morning, but I still wasn't tired. So I got up and I made breakfast for the dogs, and I made myself some breakfast, and I sat down to watch a video and figure out where I wanted to start today, if I wanted to go out to the garden and continue working there, or if I wanted to just concentrate on cleaning the house. And the next thing I know, I was like completely zoned out and hit by a wall of exhaustion. So about 10 o'clock, I went back to bed, and I didn't wake up until almost 5. So my whole day is just shot. But I did finish this. It was a fantastic conclusion to the story that started in A Strange and Stubborn Endurance. And I think it takes a very nuanced and skillful touch to be able to write a story and write characters in a way that you just instinctually know, even though you can't pinpoint why, who you can trust and who you can't trust, who is lying to themselves, who is lying to everyone else, people who there is 0 pinpointable clue as to why you just don't trust this person, but you don't. I love that I could trust my instincts with this story about who was trustworthy and who wasn't. I think Foz Meadows has an incredible ability to put such intricate, layered motifs into their writing that really is rooted in character. It's really rooted in trusting yourself and in choosing to be the better person, choosing to give community to people who have been denied community. And I love the way that it's executed. And like the whole time we have political intrigue, we have this full high fantasy story going, and we hit the ground running and we just keep going. And yet we still manage to put all this subtlety in without getting lost in the weeds, without getting lost in the details. Like, this is exactly my kind of fantasy book, because it is built so strongly and so intrinsically that the world building doesn't take over, but it is there, it is solid. And the character building, again, does not take over, but it is there and it is solid. And the development of the world, the development of the politics and the plot and all of the different moving parts coming together to create this beautiful picture and tell this wonderful story. And I just cannot wax poetic enough. I think that this duology might be like my number one favorite of the whole year. Like, admittedly, I've still got half a year to go, but so far at this point, hands down, A Strange and Stubborn Endurance and All the Hidden Paths together make my favorite story of the year. So I finished both of the books that I started. I do still have Pride to go tomorrow. I still have quite a lot of things that I need to accomplish before tomorrow. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to listen to while I go about that. I was considering listening to Darcy Coates for this current leg of the readathon, but I'm still not sold on it, and I don't really want to read any of the other books right now that fit within this leg, so I think I'm going to go ahead and make use of the privilege built into being part of the Pathfinders team, where it's fully non-compete, and I just get to go and basically read what I want, do what I want, and still participate. This team was built for me. Thank you, Bree. I think I am going to go ahead and skip/delay this leg and pick a different book that fits one of the other main city prompts that haven't dropped yet. So I don't know what city they are for. I just know what like the overall prompt is. I am gonna take some time to peruse what I have available on audio, so I will be back in just a bit after I have figured that out. Okay, so I opened up Libro FM and I immediately knew what I was going to choose. Marcia, The Joy and Defiance of Marsha P. Johnson by Tourmaline. It is a nonfiction book that is going into queer history, and this is Pride Month and I am going to Pride tomorrow, and the world is on fire and it's so tempting to feel hopeless right now. I think that digging into our roots, digging into our history, and seeing that this is a fight that has been happening and is continuing to happen, that we are continuing to build on what our predecessors have done and protecting the things that our predecessors have done, I think is a really important piece to the longevity of a movement, to the longevity of change, to the continuation of change and moving forward. So I don't know about you, but my endurance has taken a beating and has definitely been flagging, and I am still striving to be okay and to move forward and to be a part of the change that we need and be a part of the protest. So I think this is exactly what I need right now, and I think that it is perfectly timed for right now for this Pride, because Pride is a protest. And so yeah, I can't think of a more perfect book. This just recently came out, and I'm going to read it for the Shorter Than the Last Book prompt. Definitely an easy fit for that prompt, and I'm going to get that going, and I will check in again with you soon and talk to you later. Good morning. It is Saturday and it is Pride Day in my hometown. So I have visitors coming, Tony and his husband, and I believe some of the guys from Trivia Night are going to be making it up as well, and I'm really excited for that. So I've got a few more chores to get around to before I feel my house is ready to receive some guests. So I'm going to spend the next couple of hours getting those things wrapped up. And I was going to listen to the rest of my book, but I'm feeling like today I need a reading break. So I'm going to listen to that so I don't give myself all like worn out. So I listened to the first 4 hours of Marcia, and it is lovely. I am very much enjoying this peek at what Marcia's life looked like, and I'm loving getting a look at the ways that she conducted herself amongst her community. And I just think we need more Marcias in the world, to be honest, because she was caring and she was honest, and she was always ready to give a hand up and to help her fellow community members. And I think that that is just beautiful. I know that she is most known for her part in the Stonewall Riot of '69, but I feel like that is just one page out of one chapter of her life, and I'm really loving getting the chance to read this. I do think I will be getting the physical copy of this, especially if there are pictures in it, because I don't know, I get the feeling that there are. I could be wrong, but like just from the way that the text is speaking, it sounds to me like there's probably pictures in it, and I would love to see those pictures. But yeah, this is lovely. I'm having a great time, but I do need to pace myself when it comes to nonfiction reads. Last night, as I was settling down for the day, I switched to a couple of manga. I probably won't do a ton more reading, at least not for Face Off Weekend, because Face Off Weekend was yesterday and today, and I can get these two manga in as part of that, but I'm probably not going to read today at all. And if I do, it'll be late and it'll be something fluffy, or it'll be more of Marcia. And that's not for Face Off Weekend. I am gonna go ahead and get on those chores, and then it's gonna be time to hit the shower and get ready for Pride. So I will see you guys later. I don't know if there's gonna be any B-roll or not, especially with the way that times are right now. I feel a little weird filming in public where there's going to be a lot of people, so I may not do any B-roll of Pride. Plus, I just really like being in the moment, and so, you know, pulling out my camera and filming doesn't feel very of the moment, at least not for me. I know for some people that's really the way that they are participating in the moment, and who knows, maybe I will, but we'll see. And this is a chaos vlog, so I don't need to know what's going to happen next, right? All right, I'll see you guys soon and let you know how I am enjoying Marcia and if I pick up any other books. Bye.
2,000 years later.
Hello, it is Thursday and I have not checked in since I think Friday. So we're gonna go into double overtime. To be fair, I have not done any reading since Friday night. I was just really busy with Pride, and Steve has been home all week, and I haven't done any reading at all. I think I also needed a little bit of a break from reading. I think I was hitting a point of needing to do some other types of media intake instead of reading. Pride was a much smaller gathering than in previous years. I'm fairly certain, for the obvious, reasons. What there was of the Pride Festival was nice to go to. It was really great to have the guys come up and visit. I had a wonderful time spending the day with them. Suffice it to say, it was a really fun weekend, and I've had a great week. And now we are taking off for a trip to Oregon for a family shindig. And so I figured, since I didn't do very much updating and I'm still in the middle of reading Marcia, I want to, wrap up the books that I'm reading in this vlog. So I probably won't be getting to Marcia until later. Today I am probably going to be reading Forging Hephaestus, which I don't really know much about. It is a book that Steve really loves, and thinks that I will really love. And since we are road tripping together, we're going to do a combined audiobook read. So I will be checking in again later to talk about Forging Hephaestus. And yeah, this vlog is going into double overtime. It is going to be a 2-week vlog instead of a 1-week vlog. Oh, and so far as the Amazing Readathon goes, I am fully off-roading, partly because I have taken like this whole week off essentially from reading. I'm not reading the prompts as given, although Forging Hephaestus apparently does take place in a large city, so I'll be able to read this for, I think, leg 6 prompt, which was a book set in a large city. So this will be the Ketterdam leg that I'm reading this for, but I am reading it not in order of how the prompts were given. But that is the beauty of being in the non-competitive Pathfinders team. I think that's everything. I'll check in again with you soon. Bye. To our hotel finally. It is really echoey in here, so I'm gonna keep this check-in kind of quick. I am absolutely loving Forging Hephaestus. This is the first book in the Villain Code series by Drew Hayes. I am just having the best time. Of course, I have always been a big fan of Drew Hayes' work. He does a great job telling a story that keeps you engaged without it being so heavy on the world building and stressful that you get worn out reading the book. It's always a fun cruise of a read when you read Drew Hayes. The story is centering around a villain in training who is apprenticed to a retired villain, and he is semi coming out of retirement to take her on. Basically, her apprenticeship beforehand was not going well, and nobody wanted to take her on, and the option was either he takes her on or they kill her because she's too much of a liability. And by they, I mean the guild of villains that she is apprenticed to. So she has the ability to turn into living flame, but her focus is on her ability to build tech. And they haven't really gone into why she is so focused on the tech aspect and not so much on her actual abilities with fire. But at this point in the story, she is finding that she definitely needs to work on her abilities more than she has been. She's spunky and sassy, and I'm having a great time. I am also really tired, so I'm going to end this clip here, and I will check in again with you soon.
I'll be the last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight the fear when I feel like dying. I'm trying to fly high, but I'm not a pilot, can't deny it. There's some days I feel idiotic, just a product of a system where you're lucky just to make a dollar. That ain't gonna stop me cause my grind's contagious. I'll do what it takes to turn passion to paychecks. And if I go down, I'ma do it on my terms. And every single problem brings a lesson that I learned. The darkest nights, when things seem so broken, it's hard to shine, but I still try. I'll be the last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight. That's right. Baby, I was born to fight. Born to fight. Time to be yourself down a lonely road. I try to find my way but don't know where to go. It's hard to see your friends, tell them adios. When you known them all for like forever, now you're just a ghost. Ain't no way to sugarcoat it, yeah, I feel alone. Been single for a decade, doing me is getting old. I don't pick up on the phone rings, too busy recording. Industry ignores me, but I keep on going. Cause I know you got my back, I got you too. No matter what the situation, we gon' make it through. I'm a fighter, not a quitter. They can say that I'm a sinner cause they love to hate the winner, but I'm never gonna give up. The last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life.
sunsets. I hope you'll still want me, I hope you'll still need me 1,000,000 years from now. The seasons are changing, the nights ever fading. It's time we left the ground. Let's leave for an eternity. Let's sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. I'm an addict for your love, it keeps me high, keeps me high.
Hello, I am back in Utah. I am home and I'm so happy to be home. But I had a wonderful time with our road trip to Oregon and back. Honestly, it just made me want to spend more time there. So I'm thinking next year we're probably going to spend more time actually in Oregon, exploring it, spending more time with my husband's family. His cousins are amazing. I don't know. I had a really great time there. It was really good to get reacquainted with some of my husband's family. And so far as reading went, we pretty much made it through Forging Hephaestus. I ended up listening to the last hour of it at home, but we made it through almost the entire book on the road, which is always a fun little accomplished feeling. I know I did an update talking about Forging Hephaestus on the first day of our trip, but I was so exhausted that I'm not even sure if it was coherent in any way. We'll see. If you've seen me on the road talking about it, then obviously I said something that I felt was worth leaving in. Otherwise, editing Val may end up just cutting the clip entirely. But you'll know. I don't know, but you'll know by now. Anyway, it was a great book. It's set in a world where superheroes and supervillains exist, and they are kind of like integrated into the structure of the world. So it's not like X-Men where anybody with superpowers or metaphysical powers are like ostracized and outside of the law. The superheroes are all like structured together into this allegiance, and there are and they all have they have PR companies and lawyers, and so do the villains. The villains are grouped together in a guild, and that is a kind of substructure outside of the law. I would say probably along the lines of like a mafia, but much less organized, much more individualistic in its ideologies. People within the guild cooperate and work together, and they like check to make sure that whatever heist they're planning on doing, whatever job they're taking on, isn't going to be stepping on anybody's toes and isn't going to like potentially cause major issues with the heroes. All of the supervillains and superheroes kind of vaguely have an idea of each other's secret identities, even though the public doesn't. And they do that for a good purpose. So basically, in the beginning times of like the meta-human fallout, like there was some sort of major event that occurred, and all of a sudden metahumans started showing up all over the world. It's all very fun world building. I honestly think this is one of the ways it would end up going, because I think that metahumans have too much power to ever really truly be the underdogs of the world the way they are in like X-Men. And so they just kind of corporatize. So the guild has this code, and like the whole series is called The Villain's Code, and the whole purpose of this guild is the code, upholding the code. So basically every rule within the code is structured to make it so to make sure that there aren't any grudge matches between villains and heroes, or villains and villains, to make sure that the world doesn't fall into absolute chaos, because that's just not profitable. So it's very much not altruistic. It has some altruistic seeming rules, but the reality is they're just practical. Because if you accidentally kill a family member of a superhero and they go on a rampage, and now you and everybody you know has been wiped out, no one's making money, no one's surviving, you know, it's just, it's not good business. And so I very much appreciate that they're always very clear. Like, dude, we're villains. We are self-proclaimed villains. We're not doing this to further the wellness of humanity. We're doing this so that we can survive. And so far as the heroes go, their little allegiance, their little corporate conglomeration is definitely not as altruistic as they would like the public to believe, which I think is fully expected. It's got like a very little bit of the feel of The Boys from that Prime TV show. It's not nearly as gruesome or gritty because the author is Drew Hayes. Drew Hayes is a sweet muffin, and while he's capable of writing some horrific scenes, overall, like, the general tone of all of his books is very, I don't know, cozy. Again, not nearly as gritty as The Boys, not nearly as graphic as The Boys, but it definitely has those sort of feels so far as, like, Apollo. Apollo is one of the like up and coming heroes who is just now getting to his seat of power within the allegiance of whatever they are, the heroes, the capes. He's just now getting to be in a place of power, and he's been angling for it for like his whole career as a cape, and he comes across as very, very creepy. Like he literally is always glowing. He has this golden glow about him, a literal golden glow about him. Like when he flies through the sky, there's a golden streak, and he is perpetually smiling. And sometimes, never on camera, but sometimes he smiles to the point of like completely creepy. And honestly, anybody who smiles that much is up to something, in my opinion. I mean, it might be an innocent something, but they're up to something. And Apollo is not up to an innocent something. He's definitely up to something. And I don't consider that to be a spoiler, because you know that almost as soon as you first see him on the page. There's just something wrong with this guy. And, you know, all of this and 10 minutes in, and I still haven't even talked to you about the main character. Okay, so the opening scene, we see the main character in the middle of a heist. She has just got through some very major levels of security. This is the highest risk heist she's attempted to pull off, and everything is going exactly right up until it doesn't. So she gets to the location and the safe where her target is, and when she opens it, there's nothing there but a note, and the note says, "Well done." And she's like, oh fuck. And next thing you know, the room is getting really cold. Her power is fire based. Like she can turn her entire body into living flame, but obviously her weakness is the cold. And so the room is starting to cool to the point where she can only get like one appendage to flame up. The rest of her can't get there. The door opens and in walks Dr. Mechanical, I think is his name. I could be wrong. Everybody's name is a pun or some sort of like inside joke. Anyhow, this guy is her hero. He is the head of the guild of villains, and he is a scientific genius of metahuman proportions, and she just absolutely looks up to him. She wants nothing more than to apprentice with him. He tells her, you know, okay, this whole thing was a setup. This whole thing was a test to see if we were interested in bringing you into the guild. You got our attention, and so now your choice is come join the guild as an apprentice on a trial basis, or, you know, die. Because, yeah, we're villains. We don't really negotiate. We make things happen. So she is a bit miffed, to say the least, but she decides to go ahead and apprentice to the guild. And then the next scene is some time has passed, a couple of weeks have passed, and now we are in the head of Ivan Gerhardt, who is a bigwig in the guild. He is a council member, but he is technically retired. He is just the council member who represents the retired villains. And back in his heyday, he was a terrifying villain. Like, he was the villain that could have and nearly did end the world several times over. But now he's retired, and with good reason. He retired because kids. He's got a couple of kids, and he wants nothing more than to raise them in safety and go about his business, go about his life. But his friend is telling him there's this girl, this apprentice, who she needs him to be her mentor, because the apprenticing program isn't for her. She needs to be taken under somebody's wing, and none of the other council members are willing to do the job. Nobody else really sees the potential in her. They are fine with her just dying, because that is kind of, the whole premise of the apprenticeship. Either you complete your training and pass your test and become a full guild member, or you die. Everything is very black and white with the guild. He takes some convincing, but he grudgingly agrees to be her mentor. And this whole story is built around this apprenticeship between our main character and Ivan. So they have a little bit of a rough road, a little bit of rough going at the beginning. By the end, they have a very solid master and apprentice relationship. She is posing as his niece in real life. Like, in their mundane cover, she is posing as his troubled niece, and she is there to dry out and run and work the program, as far as all of his neighbors are concerned, and all of the people at the company that he works for, because she's there working with him as part of her disguise as an intern. So they do all the HR paperwork that they need to make it, all on the up and up. But as far as the world is concerned, she is his niece. And honestly, that is kind of the relationship dynamic they seem to have. In reality, like, as master and apprentice, as they become closer, it definitely gets that, like, uncle niece kind of feel to it. So if you're hoping for romance between them, that's not going to happen. But there is a potential for romance a few books down, maybe, or a book down. I don't know. There is a guy, and he is interested in her, and she is oblivious to his interest. So if you're in it for the romance, I would say keep your expectations low. Drew Hayes is really good about pairing people up eventually, so you won't be like fully disappointed if you're looking for a romance. But this is definitely not a romance. This is a superhero story, and or rather a supervillain story. As you go on, the lines between heroes and villains blur quite a lot. And that's always enjoyable, at least for me. There are a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships that develop throughout, and I love that. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about all of Drew Hayes' books, is the focus that he puts on friendships and building friendships and connections. And so even though everybody is a villain or a hero, or something else, or some muddy area in between, the whole interpersonal basis of this is friendships and teams and building trust. I would call this a cozy superhero story. There is definitely some very major plot happening. So if you're in it for the plot, you won't be disappointed. But if you're in it for the character building, you will be feasting. You will be very, very happy. Honestly, though, that's what I come to Drew Hayes for, is the character development and the development of connections and friendships. So I had a great time with this book. I have the second book already queued up. I don't know if I'll get to it in the next week or two, but I will definitely be reading it by July or sometime in July. And then I did get a chance to read some more of Marcia. I am not quite finished with it. I'm hoping to wrap that up today or early tomorrow, but we'll see. We're just delving further into her life and the trajectory of all of her community activities, and I'm loving it. Right now, the section that I'm reading is also looking at how mental health impacted her and her contributions to the community, and how mental health advocacy is so intrinsically intertwined with the race politics and the queer politics just as much as anything else. Everything is interconnected, and I'm really enjoying the way that all of these things are being discussed through the lens of Marcia's life. So I will check back in once I have finished that, and see you next clip. Hello, I am here to wrap up this vlog. I really loved reading Marcia by Tourmaline. I thought that this was a really great picture of Marcia as a whole and all of the intersectionalities she held within her between race and gender identity and sexuality and class politics and feminism, and all of those spaces that intersected in this one person was both fascinating and validating. I really loved seeing that. I think I need to get this as a physical book, just because I feel like there are pieces of it that I would love to be able to flip back through to reference more easily. I might do like a reread and annotate with this later on. Reading this has also kind of made me decide that the approach that I'm currently taking with my nonfiction books may not be working for me right now, so I might just go ahead and do like a quick and dirty listen on audio and then go back through them the same way that I'm planning on going back through Marcia. So I don't know, but we'll see. I have had a wonderful time with this vlog. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to doing another sit-down video. I know I haven't done any like wrap-ups or anything of that variety in a really long time. I think the last one was in February. Obviously, I have a lot of catch-up to do there. Maybe I'll just let it go. I don't know. But I do know that I should be getting at least one sit-down video coming up soon, and that is the mid-year freakout tag. That is the first video that I did ever on this channel, and so it's kind of like my anniversary tradition, I guess, that I'm establishing, because this will be the third time that I've done it. It was the first video that I did, and then I did it for my 1-year anniversary, and then I am thinking I'll do it again this July to mark the 2nd year on YouTube. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anyhow, this vlog that was originally supposed to be 1 week turned into more like 2.5. So here we are. I don't know. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and if you would leave me some sort of beachy emoji to let me know you were here if you don't want to chit chat at all, or if you do want to talk, I would love to know, what is your ideal summer read? Are you a horror girly? Are you here for the romance vibes? Are you looking for some thrillers? I don't know. Let me know. I'll talk to you later.
Stars shining right above you. Night breezes seem to whisper that you. Sycamore tree, dream a little dreamer.
And I was reading this. Stop. And I got all the way. And so, stop. Doctor, megalomaniacal,